What's going on, everyone? Before you get to hear the dulcet tones of Chris Jericho and our great interview, do me a favor. Would you come over to ITR Clips? Would you subscribe? Would you get notifications on? And please join us for Monday Night Live every Monday. Who would have thunk it, right? 8 p.m. My co-host SP3 Saini Angi. We'd love to have you for some great wrestling chat, some latest news, and we're going to be having some cool guests in the coming weeks. So please join us. Make sure ITR Clips. Come over, subscribe. Arena Anarchy went down a big hit. Obviously, Meltzer ratings, all that stuff that some people care about. 5 stars. Still, it was 5 stars, man. But still, it was wildly entertaining to watch, man. It's one of those matches that there was just something happening constantly, and it was just wild to watch. I've listened to your podcast, putting it together, and all that stuff. And but how was it for you, kind of finding that challenge of all these different super talented men? Putting that together, how fulfilling was that?
It was a blast because, once again, like the first Elimination Chamber or the first Money in the Bank or the first Stadium Stampede, it was the first Arena Anarchy in the Arena match. What is it? What do we do? What is this thing? You can't go back and watch the last Arena Anarchy match because there hasn't been one. So we kind of had to just do what we always do, which is just show up a couple of days before and just look at this giant empty T-Mobile arena in Las Vegas and go what are we going to do? This is all live. It's not taped. Stadium Stampede, we figured out you can tape different segments and make it like a movie. This is not the same thing. And by design, Stadium Stampede was a great invention for the time in having this, amazing cinematic match is what we were calling it, because there was no people in the arena. So what do? Let's put something else on. Now we have people in the arena. We want to feel that energy and feel that vibe. So we kind of just sketched it out. But when it's live and it's so crazy, you never know. You'd liked it to be kind of like a domino, like when this happens, then this happens, then this happens. But it kind of just all blended together. Our production team and our cameramen deserve a medal for the amazing performances that they gave to put that on. But I think overall it was so completely insane with so many cool things happening and so much action that you couldn't help but to love it. And that's why it was so well received. I mean, I laugh about 5 stars. It's great to have a 5-star match, whatever that means. I've had a lot of 5 stars that weren't rated 5 stars, but the critics gave it the highest rating because, to me, it was the most entertaining match in the show. And that's what I always say. I will stay in wrestling as long as I know that on any given night, I can have the best match on the show. It won't be every night, but it could be any given night. It could be Eddie Kingston and Chris Jericho at Revolution, which I think was the best match on the show. It all depends on what night it is. But on that night, Anarchy in the Arena, because it was so unique, so special, because it was the first one ever, I think people really responded and were really excited about it. And now we've created another kind of tent pole match that we can hang our hats on once a year. Here comes Anarchy in the Arena. Oh no, what's it going to be this year? And now we can, change it and move it and do what we have to do.
I'm glad you said about the star ratings there as well, because I did a bit of research. And as far as I can tell, he gave you the Omega match, right? And this Anarchy, that's what Dave gave you 5 stars. But for me, in your WWE run, I would have Fully Loaded 2000, The Last Man Standing. I'd have 2 or 3 with Shawn Michaels, The Rock in 2000. I mean, this is just off the top of my head. Rock 2001. You got a ton in my book. What sticks out for you that you say, hey, by your perspective?
I mean, once again, that's Dave. It's his opinion, right? And I've always said the only person that could tell me if I've had a good match or not is me. And I know, you can't tell me that Shawn Michaels versus Chris Jericho ladder match for the world
2008.
title,
Wow. Yeah.
2008, which won the Wrestling Observer Match of the Year. That wasn't 5 stars. Well, if it's match of the year, how is it not 5 stars? Or Jericho and Benoit versus Triple H and Austin, which was voted the greatest Raw match of all time on the 10th anniversary or 20th anniversary. How was that not 5 stars? Well, to me, it was, right?
Yeah.
So, like I said, it's like winning an Oscar. There's a lot of performances that you think Tom Hanks won an Oscar for Philadelphia, but didn't win for Forrest Gump, and maybe I could be wrong about that, but you know what I mean. And it's like, well, they're both amazing performances. You know, Brad Pitt won for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but didn't win for Inglourious Bastards. Like, I don't get it. But to me, it's like, my point being that whether it's rated 5 stars or not, it was Anarchy in the Arena was critically acclaimed as the best match on the show. And that's my point.
Yeah.
We hit a home run with that. And any night you have one of those great matches, Shawn Michaels and Jericho at WrestleMania, which was the best match on WrestleMania 19, whether it's 4.5, 5, whether it's a 9.5 or a 10, to me, it was still the best match on the show. The fans felt that way. The critics felt that way. And most importantly, myself and Sean felt that way. And that's all you can ever go for is, what do you feel like? What do your opponents feel like? And that's all that really matters.
I'll tell you who I've really enjoyed blossom in front of my eyes is Daniel Garcia. A lot of people felt that, you know, they thought the natural fit was the Blackpool Combat Club, but in actual fact, this has brought out so much in him. How pleased have you been with just working with him this closely for this amount of time? It seems already we're seeing the returns.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things, like, obviously I have to stay at a certain level in AW, so it means something when you beat me. But my whole mission for the last 3 years is to build my own name, but build other guys too. I mean, we recreated Cody right out of the gate. We made Mox. Look at Mox now in comparison to when Mox first came in. He's a completely different level superstar. MJF, same thing. Orange Cassidy, same thing. Sammy Guevara. One of the missions for that whole year with MJF was to build Sammy, which we did. You know, we recreated Jake Hager to where he's a legit guy now. And Danny Garcia was a guy that I handpicked because he was involved in the story with Menard and Parker and Eddie Kingston and Chris Jericho. And when they started talking about breaking up Danny from those guys, I thought, why break them up at all? Why not just have them come with me and we'll do a big swerve and start something completely new? And I was excited with Danny Garcia, and I was excited with Parker and Menard as well. I mean, Daddy Magic has become one of the most entertaining characters on our show. Who would have thunk that? So you take the guys that are available. And what I mean by that is I stay away from any championship storylines. Stay away from that. Tony Khan has his mindset on who he wants to be the champion. And that's great. So, okay, who's available? Well, it was Orange Cassidy last summer. Great. MJF. We did a whole year. Then Eddie Kingston. This guy is that's another guy we've built huge since he started up with Jericho. And I love hearing some critics would be like, oh, Eddie Kingston's stuck in the Chris Jericho vortex and get him away. And it's like, you guys are missing the point. Eddie Kingston has become a main event level star that is one of the top angles on the show. And it's Anarchy in the Arena. And now it's going to be Blood and Guts. And there's still some other ideas that we have. It's not a Chris Jericho vortex. It's a great storyline. And you want Eddie Kingston to be away from Jericho? Great. Well, Eddie can go work with, you know, Malachi Black and have great matches, but it's not a main event program. That's what we have going on right now. So yes to Danny Garcia, and yes to Daddy Magic, and yes to Eddie Kingston, and yes to Ortiz, who's in a spotlight in the biggest match of his career. You know, I can't remember Ortiz ever having a single match in AEW. And tonight he's got one of the biggest ones that you could have. You know, and it's exciting. It's exciting for me to be involved with these guys because not only am I raising them up, they're raising me up. You know, like I said, I never wanted to wrestle Matt Hardy or Christian or, you know, when I went back to WWE in 2016, I was working Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins and Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns. I didn't want to go back and work with Kane or Triple H or Shawn. We've done that. We've seen it. Let's work with some new guys, which raises the new guys up to my level and raises me up to their level. So it's all beneficial. And that's one of the main things I want to do in AEW. And that's what I'll continue to do. This is not a nostalgia act. It's a brand new evolving Chris Jericho, which is beneficial to me, to my opponents, and to AEW as a company. You guys don't understand. Mike does whatever the hell Mike wants. And you can tell him this is the idea we have. And I know this, I've been in the ring with him 4 or 5 times now. He will do whatever he wants to do. And in that May 2020 altercation, if you remember, he came to the ring with like 6 guys. I had no idea.